Okay, so I am live. I don't know if I need these glasses. It depends on how well I see the comments. Let's bring you in a little bit closer. If anyone is actually here, do say hi so I don't feel lonely. It's get comfy. Yes, I have got my comfy pajama bottoms on. Hello, Richard. Rich Mitch is here. Good to see you. There we are. So I'm on StreamYard so that I can highlight comments. I have to remember to do that. How are you doing, Rich? All right? It's been a little while. I think you were holding back on buying. Is that still the case? Are you selling? What's going on? And John is here as well. Hey, John. Good to see you. Yeah, where are... Let me know, actually. Anyone else that happens to be listening, are you in a buying thing at the moment? Are you not buying? Are you somewhere in the middle? I'm somewhere in the middle. Definitely been on a slow buy for quite a long time. Really don't want a ton of perfumes that make me feel overwhelmed with choice every day. There are, in my collection, I say about 25%, maybe 20% are fragrances I love so much that I actually really want to wear them every day. It's like a choice between certain perfumes, and it's and then more the slightly weirder stuff, the slightly more niche stuff that is maybe not exactly challenging, but just not normal. That kind of gets sidelined. So I have these beautiful fragrances from Francesca Bianchi, from Teone Reinthal, but they tend to be worn less often, and I don't feel like reaching for them for the everyday, and it feels kind of sad that that's happening. But I really want to wear my Chanels and my more mainstream perfumes lately. So yeah, I'm definitely changing these days and going a bit more on the mainstream side, although I still really hate really generic basic perfumes. John says I've been very good this year, far less than usual. Oh, good for you, John. Has that been a conscious decision? And what's the driver behind it? Is it similar to me, or is it something else? Mitch says much happier with my collection now that it's a bit smaller. Yeah, I just think it can be, I mean, your collection's huge, Rich. I think it can be overwhelming, and I can't help but feel wasteful to own so many things that really don't get to see the light of day or don't get used that much. If I had a collector mindset, it might be different. Just owning things would make me happy. But when it comes to perfume, I want a curated wardrobe. I want to know that every single perfume I have has got a chance of me choosing to wear it on a particular day or night. And that's not going to happen if I've got a collection of over 100 or more perfumes. So I keep my collection now. I don't know exactly where it's at, but at a guess about the 70 mark, maybe slightly less. Rich Mitch says I've been selling a lot of backup bottles. I honestly think backup bottles don't make much sense most of the time. Yeah. Okay, hopefully I'm back. I had something about the internet come up, so I might have lost. I think the thing is, out here I'm as far away from the router as I can be because I wanted the tree behind me. But I've live streamed here before and it's been okay. So yeah, let me know if it seems okay for now. Give me a thumbs up or whatever so that I know. And then if it seems okay, we'll keep going. If not, I will move. I will move locations. And yeah, okay, thank you, John. Hello, Dusan, good to see you. So yeah, we were talking about buying habits. It's just a sort of a side chat. Yeah, John, I was asking you what sort of like your reason for buying less this year, and I have definitely been on a slow buy, probably buying a bottle every other month ish. Although I do, there is a little bit of buying and selling that goes on. That is more about just trying to make a little bit of money, and I don't really include that unless I'm buying it for myself with the idea that I might resell it in time, you know. But most of the fragrances that I'm buying these days, generally they're not really new things. They are more vintage things. There's been a lot of Chanel's over the last year. I love the Chanel's that I've got. I'm still absolutely smashing through my number 22. I'm enjoying wearing number 5, which I never ever thought would happen to me. I love number 5. I'd really love to get the hair mist and the soap as well. I'd love the soap in my bathroom to sort of give off its smell. That would be really nice. But these aren't things that I'm just gonna buy for the sake of it, because you just end up with too much stuff, and it's silly and it's a waste of money really. So John says, for me there's just not that much I've wanted. Picky is perhaps too strong. Things just excite me less. Yeah, I totally agree. A lot of, what was that? I don't know if that was a squirrel. It looked a bit darker. Maybe there's a cat. Don't tell Annie. Yeah, I was talking to Barry about going to Essence, and I've actually decided I'm not going to bother for various reasons. But yeah, part of that is everything new is really uninspiring to me, and I do think that this is something that probably just happens the longer that you're smelling new things. But I do feel that perfumery in general, like the mass market stuff, is just going in this particular direction. You've either got really, really ultra sweet syrupy things, it just smells sugary or vanillic, or you have all these aroma chemicals. I know I'm always banging on about it, but you have these dry woody ambers. They just seem to be in everything, and I've just become more and more and more sensitive to them, and I can't tolerate them. I couldn't, you know, even if I had something like that on my hand, you know, it would still drive me crazy because it's so strong that just moving my hand around, I'm going to keep catching whiffs of it, and it would have to, those things are scrubbers for me. And unfortunately, I'm always interested in certain indie perfumers and what they come out with, but I am just not interested in the majority of the mass market stuff, and the whole influencers thing, you know, influencers receiving tons of bottles and loving every one of them, and you just know that they're utter shit, and I just can't be arsed with it. I just can't. It's another reason why I didn't really want to go to Essence, because it's that whole lovey bullshit stuff. I think I just can't cope with it. Well, I could cope with it, but I just don't enjoy it. So there you go. John says, yeah, and it's the era of cashmere, and now everything's smelling the same, packed full of it. Bunny Cha Cha says, I'm really sensitive to some musks. I seem to be. I love the synthetic musks, so all of them. There's loads of them, muscadine and brettaloid and there's tons and tons, and Levant from Almond Jane, definitely very heavy on synthetic musks, but I love it. And yeah, so I'm good with musks myself, but it's the woody ambers, the amber max, the amber extreme, the synthetic vetivers and sandalwoods as well. I think they irritate me. John says, yes, so many of the greatest perfumes ever about, yeah. Oh, I don't know. These perfumes leave an intoxicating trail, man killer perfumes. I just can't be arsed with any of it. It's obviously there's an audience for it. That's why these videos get created. But I just cannot be asked. I've tried to play the game. Like I know I am contradicting myself, because you could probably go back through my video catalogue and you're going to find all these sort of clickbait style top fragrances, blah blah blah, for particular situations. Yeah, I've definitely done that, and I probably still will do for certain things, but I'm more likely to do office fragrances or something like that. Most complimented. I mean, I don't hate most complimented, because I think that, you know, sometimes people just, if you really don't know anything about perfume, people want opinions and guidance, and they want something mass appealing, especially if they're young and impressionable, and you know, they want to fit in. I don't think it's, you know, you can't hate on that, but yeah, that's probably why I'm not doing that many videos. I'd rather just be completely honest and just show you what I'm up to, without really formulating it to make it particularly click worthy. So you know, I'm not going to do myself any favors. I'm probably not going to gain much traction on this. You know, I've had it over 10 years now. I still haven't I've never gone viral or anything, but it's a hobby and I enjoy it, and I get so much more out of it if I'm just completely real. And you know, I just don't feel like pretending to be an expert, and this perfume contains tonka beans, if you shake it you can hear them moving around, and it's got a strawberry note. The strawberry note is so natural, so you can't actually extract strawberry. I've never smelt a natural strawberry note. Anyway, she needs to shut up now. I'm going to get myself in trouble. I mean, I absolutely love loads and loads of influencers as people. I think they're great, but I just can't watch certain videos. That's all. Oh, how did we get here? This wasn't meant to be the conversation. So I've got an unboxing. I think we should probably get into that. Here is the box. It's a small one. You know what it is already because it's in the title. Let's have a look. John says the most complimented tend to be highest sponsored and paid to promote, sadly. Funny Cha-Cha says, I've always respected your opinions. I think I found you through Annabelle's birthday cake. Oh, okay, yeah. Well, Claire, you're old school, the days when videos were good and people were just loving their fragrances. And there are definitely still videos like that. There are YouTubers like that, but they just don't get the traction because they're not after the clickbait stuff. They're not really desperately looking for the views. They're just indulging in their hobby. Luc Parfums is one of them. I mean, there's loads. Obviously, our Rosen Jones, Lizzie, and yourself, John, and you know, there's plenty of real hobbyists still about. It feels like there's less because there's an overwhelming amount of people that are desperate, either desperate to make it on YouTube or they have made it on YouTube. And when someone has made it on YouTube, then they get all the free stuff, they get all the sponsorships, unless they refuse. There are people that do refuse as well. Delicious Delights, Arlene doesn't accept freebies and is completely real in her opinions. I absolutely love her views on perfumes. We don't share the same tastes all the time, but she just tells it how it is, and she has a really good nose. So there's still really, really great YouTube channels. It can just feel like they've been overshadowed by some of the more, some of the other stuff. So anyway, we've got this box and I've got a knife. Not last time, but once I think it was a live stream, I did cut myself unboxing, and John's done that as well. But here we go. So yeah, I ordered this on eBay. I think, if I remember correctly, I paid about £60. I was able to put in an offer. I think it was up for 70 maybe, and I put in an offer for 60, which was accepted. I didn't expect it to be. Sometimes I put in offers and I'm not even like that. I'm thinking they probably won't accept it, and then they do, and I think, did I even really need to buy this? But it's too late now. Hey Jimbo, good to see you. There we are, Jim. Yeah, I nearly lost your finger, John. Yeah, I stabbed myself once. Got blood all over the perfume box. Anywho, yeah, so I've cut through the Stella tape. I don't want to show my address. I don't think any of you are going to stalk me, but you know. So yeah, I actually don't know what year this is. So I used to have loads of Miss Dior Cherie versions. Here it is. And I've done a lot of videos on them. And I know that this is either the 2008 or the 2011 version. And I'm really hoping it's the 2008 version. But I only saw the box, because it's boxed. I only saw the box on eBay. So obviously I couldn't see the bottle, and that's how I know which is which, by looking at the bottle. So if we talk about Miss Dior Cherie, let's show you the box. Now this is a 15ml Miss Dior Cherie. As you can see, it's still in its cellophane. It looks good to me. I think it's okay, but until I get the cellophane off and look at the bottle, I'm not going to know. There are a lot of fakes of these about, so you do have to be careful. But I do find that eBay sides with the buyer more so than the seller. And whenever I've had a problem with a fake, and it's only been on a very few occasions, I think 2 or 3 in more than 10-15 years of eBay buying. So I'm quite happy to buy on eBay. Let me know if you use eBay. So yeah, I think it looks okay at the moment. I really hope it's the 2008 version. So my favourite version is the 2005. That's the one that comes, the bottle is all clear, no labels, with the silver writing on it. But the box is distinctive, so I know it's not that one. So that leaves the next 2 versions. The next one to come along was 2008. The perfumer is the same perfumer as the original 2005, Christine Nagel. But the next one along after that, which was 2008, was by Francois Demarche. It is a reformulation, officially a reformulation. I did a lot of research back in the day. So the 2008 version that came after 2005 is a reformulation, but it's not widely known, and it was sort of difficult to find. But when I tested them side by side, it's clear to me that there are differences. But the 2008 version is a lot closer to the 2005 version, as you would expect with the same perfumer. And of course, then the next one to come along, 2011, by Francois Demarche, I found closer to the Miss Dior once they dropped the Cherie. So not as sweet, basically, not as fun. So let's just get on with this. The exciting eBay lottery, says John. So we are gonna jump into this and hoping. So basically, the way to tell the difference between the 2008 and the 2011 editions is that the front of the bottle is completely flat for the older version, but the next one along, the Francois Demarche version, has an indented, the label's stuck in an indented square on the front of the bottle. So I mean, I'm more than happy with the price I paid. If I get the newer version, it's fine, it's absolutely fine. It's been a long time since I've tried any of them. I did end up finishing some and selling some just because I felt like I had too many and they weren't getting the use. I think I started to feel like one of them might be on the turn as well. So, you know, that's the problem with, obviously, with older perfumes, and especially if you buy them used, you have much more chance of them, even if they're not off when you get them, they can go off obviously fairly quickly, especially with fresher notes. And the Miss Dior Cherie did have, or does have, some fresher notes in it, some citruses, and even that strawberry sort of fruitiness that's in the original first couple of versions could go a little bit wonky. So I can smell it from the box, and obviously you shouldn't really be able to, but I can. It does smell like strawberry. So I am not sure yet which one it is. Hello, Lily. Ooh, what's this? It's Miss Dior Cherie. You probably know. You're so clever. You probably know which version this is from the box. Don't tell me, because I'm about to find out. I'll know from looking at the front. So it looks like the indented. No, yeah, it's the indented version. So this is the 2008 version. But my gosh, it's so beautiful. I love how shiny it is. Look at that. It's so silly, isn't it? But my bottle that I had, I bought it secondhand and like quite well used. And the lid was all, I mean, the lids are not particularly secure as it is. And over time, of course, they get looser. So I can see the batch code on here. I've got 1Q02. I will look that up later, but this is lovely. So we're gonna spray it on, of course. It's so pretty. I mean, who wouldn't want a bottle like this? Like, who wouldn't? So nice, so nice. So yeah, we are clean. Okay, this is the 2011 version, as suspected. Lily has confirmed. Nice big spray. This is a 50ml bottle, as I think I said earlier. I can smell it in the air. It definitely smells correct. It smells good. Oh, it's so pretty. It's so pretty. Do you know what? I had a pure parfum. I tried to go through my videos to I think it wasn't Cherie pure parfum, but it was early. It was the original formula, the 2012 Miss Dior pure parfum, and I had this spray bottle. So it was, I don't know if it was 15. It might have been 30ml. I had this spray bottle, and this reminds me of that now, because I used that up. I loved it so much. I remember being chased down for someone really wanted it. They loved it so much, smelling it on me, that they wanted to, you know, they got their phone out, they were trying to find it, and it's actually not one that's easy to find at all, and even if you do, really expensive. But this really does remind me of that, the feeling that I got when I sprayed that extract or pure parfum from the Miss Dior 2012 version of the pure parfum. It's so pretty. So let's elaborate on pretty, because that can mean a lot of things. It's definitely citrusy. I believe the top note is mandarin. There might be some other citruses, but it isn't just citrus in the top. You can smell this floral fruitiness, and it is, you know, you could say it's a bit generic, but this is so much, to me, obviously just my opinion, this is so much nicer than the modern fruity florals that are being created today. I find them very, very syrupy sweet. Like the fruity florals, the fruity notes are very syrupy, like fruits sort of dipped in treacle, and I don't know, and then cooked a little bit or something. Just very, very syrupy. Everything that is marketed towards women or girls, really, the fruity florals just seem to really, even the Dior Le Parfum, which is the most recent version from, I think the most recent version from Dior line. When I tried that, the top was really syrupy, fruity, and then it became this like nondescript floral vanillic musk. It was nice, but yeah, it was a big jump, like syrupy, like really sweet syrupy fruity, and then it just fell down to this soft vanillic musk. Pleasant, but just not interesting. Oh, goodbye, Jimbo. Thank you. So I hope everyone has a very Merry Christmas. I am really happy with this. A, because it does remind me of that Pure Parfum that I had that I ran out of. That I was actually, I think the reason I was looking on eBay wasn't actually to replace the Cherie. It was to find the Pure Parfum that I had, because I loved it so much. And then I ended up seeing this and thinking, oh, if they're taking offer, and I'll take a chance on whether or not it's which version it is. It doesn't matter really. I would have preferred the slightly older version, but I mean, this just smells amazing. And it kind of makes sense that this one more so would remind me of the Pure Parfum, because the Pure Parfum was from the 2012 release. You had the Dior, not Cherie, EDP. They dropped the Cherie in 2012, and there was a Pure Parfum that came out at it's the same sort of time. I don't know if it came out a year later or what, I don't know, but it makes sense because Francois Domechy, I believe, did Dior, because he did this one too, the last Cherie, then it became just Dior. So it kind of makes sense that the Pure Parfum smells similar to this one, and also the 2012 version. So yeah, it's got a little sharpness, I think, from probably the jasmine mixing with this citrus. I don't recall the exact notes in here. The older versions did have the popcorn note and the strawberry note. Now I do feel like I'm getting a fruitiness that is, I mean, there's definitely a sharpness here, which could be the citruses, but it could also be sort of a sharp pink fruits type thing. I wouldn't say this smells particularly like anything that natural in terms of at least the fruit. The mandarin, yeah, of course. I think citruses generally are natural and smell natural all the time. But when there's fruit notes, I was going to say fruit. When there's fruit notes, most fruits are not natural in perfume, and certainly with something like strawberry, then it's definitely not going to be natural. So yeah, there's a definite sharpness. This is a fresher fragrance, It's almost sweet and sour. It's not that sweet. If you took the current Dior EDP with the cloth bow, or the Pure Parfum, whatever they're called, Dior Parfum, it's nothing like those in terms of the sweetness is much less. It smells much more natural in that respect, because it's not so syrupy sweet. It's got this sharpness to it that I wouldn't say is too sharp. It's not screechy, but I do think it is probably coming from the citrus as maybe a fruit accord. But underlying is a little sweetness, something like a vanilla, and lots of musk. Definitely get a clean musky feel from it. And then just this light mixture of white florals. I'm really happy. I didn't really, as I said, I placed this offer and I was a bit like, do I really need to do this? I mean, I'm trying to be, not buying too much. Do I really need to add? And this is something that I'm not going to be precious about it. I got it for a good price, so I'm just going to wear it. I'm going to wear it, probably spray it quite generously because it's quite fresh and it's not too heavy. I think this one would have a patchouli note, which will help it with longevity, but it isn't a really prominent patchouli. I think I can detect it really slightly. It just gives it that a little bit of a tone, you know, a little bit sort of like a perfumey tone, that, you know, that like a depth, like a I'm almost like if you think of like the colour brown, just like mixing in, giving it an anchor and a depth. Yeah, very, very happy with this. More happy than I expected, which is great. Tinker, hello Tinker Wonders. Any tips for buying on eBay? I mean, only the obvious. I always look what the seller is selling, seller's other items, to see if it makes sense. So, say for example, someone's selling some vintage old Chanel, and then when you look at what they're selling, it looks like they do house clearances. So they've got a whole random load of different stuff, and they probably just go around buying and selling. They maybe do house clearances. That to me, like, that's a green flag. If someone is just selling perfume, what sort of perfumes are they selling? How I like to think of how are they getting these, and how are they able to sell them? If they're selling them very cheap, how are they able to do that? Just use your, you know, do a little bit of investigating, look at the feedback. If anyone has ever left feedback to say that the item they received was fake, that's obviously a major red flag. Although sometimes mistakes happen. If someone's just buying and selling all the time, they may just as accidentally bought a fake and sold it on not knowing. I did get a fake once. It was kind of obvious, but I took a chance because I was in a rush. Like the time was ticking down, and I did really quick research. Couldn't find the thing. It was a big bottle of Chanel Allure, but it was in a Parfum style bottle, but it was a big bottle, and it didn't really make any sense, and it was absolutely 100% fake. And there was no such thing as this size bottle for a Chanel Allure Pure Parfum. So you want to make sure that the thing you're buying exists. Do your research, know how to spot a fake. If the seller, so when I bought this bottle of Allure, I'm confident the seller knew what they were doing, because they sold a lot of perfume, and in all their other listings, and I went through their feedback, because you can look at the listings, the more recent listings in the feedback, as well as what they're selling currently. And they were doing up close pictures of the batch code and the details that prove the item to be real. But the bottle I bought, they just did one really vague photo. And so I pretty confident they knew what they were doing, and they were just hoping to get away with it. And I mean, I can't ever say that 100% for sure, but it's just such a strange thing that they were taking. They obviously know what to look for to show something is real. They know about batch codes and all the details that you look for the logo on maybe you look for the logo on the lid. Maybe you look to see if there's a logo on there, and they take all those pictures, and they take pictures of the size and all of that stuff. Like for Miss Dior, for example, will always have information on the rear of the label. If that's missing, then it's probably fake. If the batch code's missing here, it's probably fake. If that logo is not on the top on this particular version, the logo's not, I don't think the logo is on the top of the 2005. So you have to research. But generally speaking, if you are confident it's a fake and you can say why, eBay is going to side with you. If you just say, oh, this doesn't smell what I expected it to smell like, that's probably not fair, because if you didn't know what it should smell like, then it's quite possible that it's real. It just wasn't what you thought it was going to be. But generally speaking, eBay is going to side with the buyer. That's something that a lot of sellers actually find unfair about eBay. Selling on eBay is more risky than buying. So yeah, hopefully I've covered that one. John says, I did that with Chanel number 19, less than 10 mil, but it cost me like £12. And there we go, unexpected win. Oh, hello Ty. Yeah, so back to Miss Dior Cherie. It is a fruity floral. You could potentially call it a patchouli, but I don't think it is, because patchoulis, I tend to hate them. I just can't bear them. They tend to be much heavier on the patchouli, and yeah, that weird mix of fruit and patchouli, it's not for me. So I would probably call it it's not really ambery. The dry down's a little bit sweet. It's a fruity floral. It's a fruity floral musk. And yeah, it's one that will be obviously it's now new to me again. So it's going to be competing against my Chanel number 22. It's going to be competing against Chanel Allure, which I've been wearing a lot. It's going to be competing against all of those really easy to wear, easy to reach for sort of daily drivers. Another one I've been wearing a lot is Guerlain Shalimar Souffle de Parfum. That is another one that's back in my collection that I did have years ago. And that one gets worn a lot because I just know that they are palatable. I mean, to me, I love them. I really enjoy wearing them. They're more than just palatable, but they are mass appealing. You know, they're lightly sweet without being too sweet. There's an element of freshness to them. There's nothing really challenging. They're pretty, they're easy, they're inoffensive, and those kind of perfumes, they're the ones that I'm just reaching for. You know, it's been that way for well over a year now. Still love like reaching for Unspoken Musk and Tobacco Rose from Papillon, and I've got a Tower Le Maroc Pour Elle. That one is so strong and so incensey and mysterious and kind of feels a little bit much. So I tend to wear it just for me around the house or to bed or something like that, rather than out. Although I think it'd be a great night out perfume. But in general, those stronger perfumes, those more unusual perfumes, don't feel right to pop to Asda's, walk to the post office, or go to the office with. They just feel a bit much. Even though I love them, they make me happy all day long, I do feel slightly conscious of how they will affect people around me, because they can be a bit more Marmite. Whereas I feel like things like this, and pretty much all the Chanel, the main line of Chanel, they're just so wearable. They're just so easy. So yeah, I think I'm so here for the versatile, easygoing, mass appealing fragrances, as long as they're not like massively generic. When someone might say this is, but it is a matter of taste. Ty is wearing a sample of La Vie Belle today, and I'm actually really liking it. Someone help. Is it the original La Vie Belle? I think it's really pretty. It is very sweet. It's not for everyone. But I like it. I had a friend that wore it, and it's really pretty scent. Some of the flankers are good, some of them not so much. The iris, there's been a couple with extra iris in, and I think they're really good. But yeah, anyhow, so Miss Dior Cherie, I haven't actually showered today. I'm so gross, but I'm on nights and I got up too early. I woke up at 12, so I've only had like 4.5 hours sleep. Woke up too early. I was rudely awakened by the postman. I put my trousers on, had a cup of tea, and think about leaving the house. And I decided not to leave the house because why would I? It's horrible weather. But the postman woke me up with this delivery, and then I don't think I really got back to sleep after that. So yeah, I haven't showered yet, so I'm not putting this on up here and I will wear this once I've showered. But yeah, I'm on nights. I'm working tonight. I'll be starting at about just after 6 p.m. So I do need to go back to bed for a nap pre-work. Otherwise, it's going to be a long, long night. I think I am done. Ty says, yeah, it's the original one I really love from the line. Oh, it's the original one. It's the original. One I really love from the line is Lelixir. I can't remember. I have definitely. Is that quite a new one? There was one that I think it was called Absolute or Iris Absolute. That was amazing, but that was a long time ago. Lily says, Merry Christmas, everyone. Nice to see you, Claire. Congrats on the MD, Cherie. Thank you, Lily. Merry Christmas. So yeah, I'm going to bugger off. This is new to my family and really, really happy to have it. And yeah, Merry Christmas, everyone. I might post another video before Christmas. I might not. Who knows? I will try. I will try. And oh, hey Tim, nice to see you. The new one says Ty regarding the La Vie Belle. Oh no, the Elixir. Violets and raspberries. It sounds good. A little bit harsh at times though. Okay, yeah. Yes. So anyway, off I go. Thank you so much for coming along. It's been very, very nice, and I do like a little social perfume chat, and I must do it more often. So we'll see you soon. Bye.